Hello and welcome back to Bay 1. This is Jafar. We are going to be doing a specific bot build for single player. There's a few ways you can actually abuse the single player mode at the moment, but probably the biggest takeaway from my brief experience with it is that you want something that has all-round shielding. And I'm going to try and do this for lower tiered type players to give them some kind of, I guess, usable option that allows you to farm with it. And the focus here is going to be on using electroplates because they can self-heal, recharge. So this is actually going to end up being like a mini hover donuts type build. I haven't built one of these for a while, so please bear with me as I mess around with this. Anyway, so yeah, the first thing is going to be building the initial base on which the pilot seat will sit. I'm not going to worry too much about electroplating this. Not electroplating, what is the freaking term? I can never remember it. About triforcing this. It's kind of a waste of energy, certainly with these cheaper builds. Let's make sure clone mode is on. But we are going to focus on at least having a pretty strong base. And it is going to be an equilateral build as well. So probably the first thing we want to worry about is actually getting the propulsion systems on here. All the movement systems. This is going to be a hovercraft, so hoverblade MK4 there, and I could put the hoverblades here, but that's actually going to be too vulnerable. It's going to prevent us from being able to put other items on here. We're not worried so much about speed on this. This is really about building an armor tank, and I actually want to try and mount the hoverblades up a little bit and a little bit further. So let's put these blocks on here and put some blocks on like this. And because people tend to focus with their fire on the front, that's where we're going to actually... I'm not sure if I'm going to go... No, I'm not going with a wedge design. It's going to be more all-round fire design. Let's put the blades like this. One block there, one block there. Just going to fill that in while we've got opportunity. And we have a block here, and do I want to do the same on the sides and just give us a little bit more redundancy? Yeah, let's do that. So we've got this whole ring, and now we need to put a layer of armor around that entire ring. So let's go to the hardware, is it chassis blocks? There we go. So we need some of these. And I am going to, hopefully this build works out, but I am going to have it available in the store. So once it's completed, I'll just put it up as a mini donut or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Maybe watchers can decide on that for me. But anyway, so that's the front section. Oh, it's not going to work because I'm going to need to use a prism to actually complete that. Because a prism will fit in there, but a standard block will not. And then we do the same on the side. Obviously that's not going to fit on. I did that wrong. Here we go. And then build out from the back here. Couple of blocks. And again, mass management really isn't a key goal on this particular build. So this is the first outer layer. We can do some things already with damage routing to help make the build of the bot a little bit more survivable. What I'm going to do is make sure this block here is actually connected down. We'll just use these blocks in place. We're going to at least make sure that's reinforced there and reinforced on the front as well. And now what we want to do is to help with damage routing is we're going to change this block here into a prism so that damage to this doesn't transfer through here and vice versa. and we'll do the same with these ones on the side. It's not really going to matter on that section, but it's only on this section here. But we also want to make sure that maybe this should actually, no, that's actually not the right place to do this. Let's reverse that. We want to make sure damage from these blocks does not transfer through to here. So how am I going to do that? Yeah, prisms on that. The issue there is it does make the connection points for those a little bit weaker. Because half of the damage to this will go, or it depends on the weapon type or the fire type. With plasma and rail, some of the damage actually gets transmitted through to the connecting block, whereas with SMGs the damage doesn't. So it does mean that these are actually kind of easier to shoot off, but the other benefit is the additional damage that transfers through here won't actually get through to this block directly. So it's kind of an important design choice, but we do want this kind of connection anyway. The other thing I'm going to do is just fill these blocks out for hit points. Do I want to do the same kind of hit point modification issue there? Not really, because that's going to be a little bit too much weight on front and back. And now I want to see about getting some electroplate on here, but we still need to finish the bottom ring. So what I'm going to do here is we got the outer ring here, we're going to put another ring underneath here, but as much as possible we don't want it connected onto this one. So let's start by working from this block. This block will actually come out in a second. So you see where this is now, I mean, you still got a connection seam along the edge, but it essentially becomes almost an independent ring. And we don't want it connected quite there. Let's get that block, put that there, put one here, and then we will continue that out. Now, in the interest of armoring, we're going to put that block across there. So now we kind of got an ablative layer there. And now we'll bring that ring out, put a block in place, a standard block anyway, and just make sure that we echo this build on the back. And again, the focus here is not on speed. This is purely about armor and resilience and that kind of stuff. So that's the wrong kind of block. Or is it? Nope, that's right. What did I do there? Oh, that's right. That's the wrong kind of block there. Bloop. Okay, there we go. And now we can start bringing this back. Okay, so we've got an extra layer of shielding, and then we'll do the same on this final layer here. So this will actually be converted into more, not aerodynamic blocks, but you know, flatter styling. I can't remember what we would call the damn things. And do the same here. And now we'll grab some of the tetras. I've actually got to buy a few more of those. And hopefully this design doesn't completely suck. Anyway, I'm just building pretty much off the cuff here, so... Alright, let's grab those tetras. So we got this section here, and then we're going to have the inner ring, which will go here, so let's grab that. We can just use standard heavier blocks. Connect across. And it's all about building concentric layers of armor on this, at least with the original hover donut. This one we've actually got the benefit of being able to use electroplate, and also the gun placement's going to be a little bit more optimized on this, but essentially we're going to have a gun there, one on the top definitely, but we'll get to that in a second. We're not worried about flyers. We don't have to have any real concern about flyers on this particular design. Because the AI kind of is crap where flyers are concerned. Or concerned. So let's at least get this turret mount put on. And this isn't a Triforce turret mount, I'm not worried about that at the moment. Okay, so we've got those particular sections in place. Let's get some guns on here. So it's a question, do we want to use rails? Do we want to use a brawler type thing? To be honest, rails would actually be the most effective way of doing this, but I'm just going to be building a brawler here. So, because with rails you can get out of range, just snipe things from across the map, and the AI isn't really going to be able to do much against you. But I don't want those guns like that. I'm going to modify the gun placement here so that we're actually using some turreted connection points, and you will, this does kind of mean that you will get intersected arcs of fire, but I'm more than happy to deal with that. And we've got the one on top here. I'm probably going to actually place a couple of guns here, a couple of guns here as well. So let's grab some more blocks. Let's just change these ones here. It gives us a little bit more that we can connect onto. Redundancy in terms of weaponry, and we also need to make sure that these are actually have proper armored emplacements on them. So let's do a little bit of triforcing around here, or spaced armor, whatever you want to call it. We're not going to focus too heavily on it. This is a pretty quick build overall. Okay, there we go. So we've got those, and then we also need to make sure we do a similar thing here. So that's going to be bringing out some of this armor here, or adapting it to help absorb a few extra shots. And then we do the same here. There we go. And now this is where we want to put our electroplates on here, because the electroplates are actually one of the prime insurance policies here. So we're going to have some on the side, we're going to have some below, and then the front is going to look a little bit ugly, although actually these will serve for the side. We might actually look at using some, we could use some R3 electroplates here instead. They're just not pretty. I don't know. This should be form over function. Function over form. Yeah, that's not really going to work. So what I want to do is have the same kind of thing. So it's going to mean I'm going to have to put a standard block here on each side, probably. And that's not going to work because we've got intersection on the front. We'd have to actually bring that out by another level. So what's going on there? Oh, I see. It's because I've got clone mode on. Duh. Of all the stupid things. And then we're going to have to do the same kind of thing here. Minus. It's not going to look the prettiest, but I can probably make something that looks a little bit more elegant on that front, but this should be able to absorb a few hits at least. Just want it to look kind of uniform at least. So underneath that block we're getting another one connected on just for redundancy, we need to make sure that it's actually got a decent number of connection points, and we'll have to do the same on here as well. So it's going to look something similar to this. Now you're going to be looking at this and thinking there's lots of weak points, especially you can hit armor here, it's going to cause problems. But we'll actually see just how this runs. Overall it's ended up being a 33k build. Let's go and test single player and see how it actually runs. And straight to combat. So the way we do this is we just literally keep rotating, so it spreads the damage around the outside. We probably don't really want to take on all of these at once. So we've lost some of the electroplate, let's keep rotating though. And we just lost a big section on the front. Keep the electroplate towards them. Come on. They're no longer a threat, so keep the electroplate towards the enemy. So considering I'm not really doing anything to try and evade, this is actually doing a lot better than the other design. Okay, come on. And I've got most of the guns left still. Come on, take guns out. Guns, 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 guns. And with a few overclock levels it becomes a lot more effective. Get behind that dude because we've just taken out half of his movement and we can use him for shields. So 7 kills on one run, not too bad. I'm not hugely happy with the survivability of that. Yes, I'm going to put it on. Well, I'm going to put it on the garage, so you can go and buy this from the store. So yeah, but it's an option here. And as you can see, the overall play style is that you need to keep rotating it to help spread the damage across the surfaces. Ideally, you want to try and keep your facings towards the enemy for about 5 seconds, so that by the time it comes around, it's going to be 5 to 7 seconds. So by the time it comes around to the next facing, the ones that have already been damaged have actually had chance to recharge. Because that's what the recharge timer is like. Obviously, if you've got enemies on lots of different facings, that's going to cause problems. So you want to keep them all to the same side. But yeah. So here we go. Hold on. And there we go. Next one. Yeah, it's certainly not a hugely symmetrical design, but it seems to be working. And, I mean, this would actually probably be relatively effective in normal combat as well. It's just designed specifically for single-player farming in mind. And I'm not saying there aren't going to be more effective designs for this, but yeah. Come on. Let's keep the two electroplates towards them while the other ones recharge a little bit. And now let's get that one towards them, and now the rear one towards them, although taking more damage, and now side. Let's give our electroplates a chance to actually recover. Okay, so I'm down to 5 guns. My firepower was reduced. And yeah, this is an actual full T5 because it's using Wolf Cubes. You can see by the red colour blocks. This one's not going to go so well because it's a much stronger bot. Yeah, unfortunately it took a lot more of my robot out. It might actually be worthwhile we cutting it here and trying to respawn, but I'm just going to see how many kills I can get on this second run. And then I'll put this particular version up in the store, I think. I don't think there's really anything I need to do to improve it. It seems to be working pretty effectively. Up to 8 kills. And that's without me really trying to be particularly evasive. Obviously, if I made more use of cover, hover blades and stuff like that, I could get a few more kills. This is really just to test the tankiness. And I've got, I don't know why I'm even rotating now because I've got no electroplates left. Oops. And I'm still fully mobile. That's thanks to the 8 hover blades that I actually have on this thing. Okay, I've only got 1 gun left. But I can keep going. Come on, I need to get 10 kills. Come on, there you go. Crippled on movement now. Take all the blocks connecting the pilot seat out. There we go. Come on. Art Heartbot should not be long in this mode. $11 kills. No, out of guns. Might as well die now. But anyway, so 11 kills, not too bad. Let's go back to the mothership. Yes, you can play with a robot that you've added or uploaded, so I'm not sure if you need to actually keep it in the bay. And why have I got a broadcast going out on Steam? I should not be having that happen. Hold on a sec, I need to... yeah, okay, that's stopped. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're actually required to keep it in the bay, I don't know. So I've got this one up on the thing, on the store. I don't know what would happen if I actually deleted the robot or changed it. But you go to upload, so you've got the robot name description. I'm just going to call this one MK4 single player donut. I can't. Single player donut. Make the most use of this single player focused design. So just keep on spinning slowly to make the most use of the single player focused design. Give electroplates chance to recharge before facing them to the enemy again. And then let's confirm that.